Okay, this is my review of the Kobo Clara Colour. In my hand, it's very light. I think it's around like less than 200 grams. And the bezels are not flush with the screen. But I like that feature because it makes it much easier to hold. It is 6 inches, so it's quite small. It's about the size of my hand. But it's really good size, and I can fit it in my palm. I have quite small hands. So this is quite nice, and I can even fit it into my pockets. Okay, let's turn it on. The button is at the back here, and we can see that the light is just a small dot here. Now this is the loading screen. I like that it has the 4 colors of the annotations or the highlights, and I did set a passcode, so I'll just do that quickly. Okay. I have set the brightness to 0. That's because I'm next to a lamp and it's quite bright, so there is no point. But I will turn it up. So I'll show you the 3 main formats of the books, in my opinion. There is the kepub, and this is the PDF, and then there's comics. So I'll show you the epub first. Now let's go to the first page. I did import this. I did not buy this from the Kobo website or this in the Kobo store from this e-reader, but this epub is quite good quality. As you can see, it's very crisp. We can turn the brightness up here just for the sake of this video. It's very good and sharp. In real life, it's like reading from a real book or even a screen, but it's less demanding on the eyes. I'll just turn the brightness down, and this is what it's like reading with the brightness down. I did increase the font weight and adjusted the font size and the margins to my liking, and so far I'm really enjoying reading on this. When it's dark, I'll just hold it up behind against the light. That is what it basically looks like. It's quite blurry and quite harder to read, so I would turn the front light on just around 5%, and it makes it much easier to read like that. Okay, so turning the pages, it is very, very fast. When there is color, however, it is a bit slow, as you can see there, and much slower if you have notes, but it is not too slow. And what I love about these color highlights is that I can assign emotions to them, and I find that I don't have to add notes to a lot of my highlights. So this one is mainly for when it's funny, interesting, and then sad or heartwarming, and then this one is mostly for like happy or exciting emotions or lines that I find. And I can also add a note, so it is quite fast. Hello, this is, oops, I cannot spell. This is a, did I just forget how to spell? This is a note. Now, it is fast when you're tapping it. Sometimes it doesn't register properly, but when I am pressing properly, it does register and is very, very fast. The only problem is that the size window is very small, so you would have to be actually pressing which button you want. And also when you do it lightly like that, sometimes it doesn't register. But this functions as a normal keyboard. You can long press and get different letters. There's different symbols. You can do permanent caps. It's very intuitive. Let's see the dark mode on this. Now, the problem I have with dark mode is not the ghosting. I find that there's only a few ghosting, and it's mainly from comics. But the main problem is dark mode does not change the UI. It only changes the kepub. But that's not really a problem for me because I don't really use dark mode. But I should actually, because when I put it against the light, you can still kind of read it. And oops. And I can turn the brightness up higher and you can still read even against the light. Now let's turn the brightness down. And turn this back on. Yep, it is very fast. I think that's all there is on this one. So now I'll show you the comic format. I think this is CBZ format. I'm actually not sure if it's PDF or CBZ, but let's just say it is CBZ. Now the quality of this is very, very good. What you're seeing on the screen is what I'm seeing. The color, contrast and everything. As you can see, it's not very saturated, but the color is there and it is quite bright in my opinion. I can turn the brightness up and you can see that the color is pretty nice. I'm not sure if you're seeing how sharp it is, but in real life the quality is very good, and it's very crisp and sharp. And the black and white also very contrasty with the brightness up. Even with it down, you can still see the crispiness, but you would need a light source to fully appreciate it. Yeah, so it is still readable next to a lamp, but against the light it is very dark, as you can see. Now you would have to turn the brightness up, so let's just do that, and it's much better when reading at night. Now if we zoom in, this one is quite slow for some reason. It won't let me move it much. Just zoom in, and even trying to zoom out, it's not very responsive. It's quite slow. I'm not sure if it's this format, but yeah. And turning pages is not the fastest, but when I find a good speed, I can turn a lot of pages in one go. I love this manga. It's very good, and I find that the blacks are very dark. It's just the background, not the brightest, since it's a color e-screen. But the quality you get is really good. I don't know if they have Carta 1300 on this for the black and white screen, but it's very nice. Zooming in, you don't lose much quality. It's like reading on paper. It's very good. My experience with reading manga on this has been really good. Actually, it was raining this morning when I was going to uni, and it was wet all over, and I was just wiping it down with my sleeve, and it was perfect. It was still good. Reading on it was perfectly fine. So yeah. And now our final one. Oh, we can see some ghosting here for some reason. But the final one is the PDF. Now let's turn the brightness down. The color actually of the cover is very desaturated compared to the one I see on my iPad that I actually use for uni. But it's still, the color is still there. And we can see that the headings are blue. Okay, let's just skip to this page. I want to show you the kanji. The main problem I have with reading on this format, which I don't recommend. I don't recommend reading PDFs on this e-reader. It is only 6 inches, so it's very small. Oops. And as you can see, these small letters, they're very hard to read from the naked eye. It's arm length at the moment from my eyes, but it's very hard to read. It is still readable, I can still read most of it, just not the very tiny letters. But in real life, it's very crisp. Even with the brightness set to 0, it's very crisp. It's just the eyes. It needs light to see it much better. And for some reason, on this format, it's much more responsive when trying to scroll. Oops, maybe not. Trying to scroll or read. And less responsive on that manga from earlier. Oops, I did not zoom out fully. Okay. And that's pretty much it. I will show you one more thing. The collections. I really like this UI, but this is a manga series that I have. There's only 8 volumes, but it shows an array of colors that you can get on here, and I particularly enjoy them. See how bright this blue is. We can turn the brightness down fully. Against the light, it's kind of hard to appreciate, but it's still there. It's very nice. And I did import all of these books wirelessly. I'll link the website where you can do that in the description. You basically need an external device, and you need to use the web browser of this e-reader. So yeah, this green is very nice. Yep, I really like it. I did change and experiment with the developer settings. Sorry, there's some blurring, probably from the rain from earlier. There's developer options that you can get in the settings. I think there's a YouTube video, a tutorial on how to do that. I'll try to find the link and put it in the description. Oops, it's not focusing. But yeah, and I find that the normal settings of the color screen is the best, because the other ones lose some contrast or some color gradients. This one has the best quality, and if I turn it up, you can see it. It's very nice and crisp. Now that might hurt some of people's eyes, to be honest. Let's do one more here. Oops, why am I scrolling down? I did make a PDF of the test. I screenshotted the different color settings. I might link that in the description for you to see. But basically it would look like, let's see, try to find an example. So you see these different shading of the hand. When I would change the settings, some of them would be like hard edges, like see this darker bit, it would be like a really hard edges. Some of them would be very desaturated, like you see this part, it would be like a major cutoff or even just a flat edge. So I don't really recommend changing the color settings. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for my review and my showcase of my new e-reader. This is my first e-reader, so if I'm not really experienced with this or showing a biased opinion, I apologize, but I really enjoy this e-reader and recommend it to anyone who enjoys reading, even when they don't need color, because it's just a delight to have color. So yeah, thank you for watching.